Welcome everyone to RPG Frequencies. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been with the channel for some time, I certainly appreciate you checking out my videos. This is Gwydion, and today I'm going to be playing a solo journaling game called Caveat Emptor by Exeunt Press. Now, I stumbled across this game looking on itch.io the other day, and I've read through it a bit, but this is definitely my first playthrough. So, like some of the other journaling games I've been playing, I'll pause when I get to some of the prompts so that you're not sitting here watching me think about what I want to do. But I'll read through the rules a little bit and kind of give the setup, and then we'll just get started. So here we go. Let me flip a couple pages here. And I'm going to get to the very beginning setup here, and I'm going to read this. 25 August 1541. My very dear employee, management continues to have serious concerns about your performance as a demon of hell. Your recent incident has not allayed those concerns. As part of your perdition improvement plan, you will be given one more chance to run the Curiosity Laden in Wittenberg, posing as a human merchant. I will return in a few days to make an assessment. This curiosity shop has been most profitable for us, both in corrupting humans and in causing increased suffering. So do please avoid raising suspicions and driving us off customers this time, won't you? I'm sure you appreciate this final chance to prove your worth and to avoid annihilation. Your devoted manager, Mephistopheles. So we are playing a demon from hell, and we are on a PIP, a perdition improvement plan. So the year is 1541. You're an assistant demon selling secretly cursed items to humans in Wittenberg, Germany. Greet new customers as they enter. Offer them an item from your inventory that seems too good to be true. Secretly twist it with a curse and close the deal. Avoid suspicion that you are a demon. Maximize sales before the manager returns. And of course, avoid annihilation. All right, safety obviously important. If there's this one doesn't seem as triggering as some of the other games I've played recently, but then again, if there's something that triggers you while I talk through this, please pick a different video and something uplifting and something that you find interesting and fun. What do I need to play? So I've got all this, about an hour, hopefully, and I'm in my little office in my house. Hopefully the dogs will not start barking. All right, what is total journaling? I'm going to flip past through some of this. So this is the basic sequence, and I have this on my playingcards.io table, which I set up for this game. But customer will arrive. I'll offer an item for sale, try to twist the item for a curse. I'll check to see if they suspect me, record the transaction, and then at some point close the shop for the day. And after 3 days or sooner, I will have my performance appraisal from Mephistopheles. So 3 rules. This is important, and I have this on the table as well. The first is always adhere to promises. The item must be delivered with the benefit precisely as described. And 2, concealed consequences. The item must be cursed in a way that is subtle, insidious, and not readily apparent. 3, irresistible temptation. The item must seduce the human, exploiting their deepest desires, fears, and weaknesses. And we will draw cards for the type of customer, so I'll know a little bit about their background as we play the game. How to play. Okay, the game setup, I've got that all done on playingcards.io. And we're going to place the tokens. We're going to have a shop ledger already. I have a form fillable PDF I created out of the PDF that came with the game. We're going to draw a customer card, learn the customer's name, background, what have you, and then offer an item for sale. So I'm going to minimize this for a second and show you the table that I've created in playing cards. Let's make this full screen. There we go. So the top left is my customer deck. My items deck is here. We'll have the first customer when I click on new customer. We'll get 3 items. We get to choose which item we want to tempt the customer with. And then we will role play that a bit. And ultimately, we will check for suspicion by rolling to begin with 3d6. But every time you use and are successful using one of the curse types, this token will move up one. And if I use that curse type again during the same day, I can only roll 2d6. On a roll of a 5 or 6 on any of the dice I get to roll, that means I was successful, and I will get to record my points for the day, and I'll walk through that as we play the game. So I'm going to turn on a little background music. This is going to be called Antiquarium or Antiquarian. It's kind of an old library sound from from Monument Studios, excuse me. And the track or the album is called Wrath. That doesn't seem to be playing, so I want to make sure something is not wrong. Bear with me. I'm going to try to reset it for a second. I'm using my iPad to send the sounds. I don't know why that's not. There we go. Just had to reset it for a bit. So hopefully that's not overwhelming. And as I'm talking, it should die down and then come back. Yeah, good. All right. So let's start the game. I've already reset the game. We're all set there. And we are going to click on new customer. So the new customer is the 5 of diamonds. So I'm going to turn off the PDF for now because it looks a little janky. So I'll read it. And if I ever think it'd be helpful for you to see what I'm reading, then I will show the PDF to you. So customer list 5 of diamonds. That is going to be Brunhild Gasnier. So actually, you know what? I will show you this for a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy his name, Brunhild Gasnier. And I'm going to go to my customer. So I'll put him in there. We don't know the item yet, but let's read a little more about Brunhild. So as he comes into my office, he and I strike up a conversation, and he wants to be a famous artist. Oh, sorry, it's a woman. She wants to be a famous artist. Her works have emotional depth and beauty, but her background means she will never be a respected artist in the city. So she must not be a noble or come from money or any status. So let's draw our item options. So we get 3. So let's pull up the PDF and read each of those. 10 of clubs, 6 of clubs, and an ace of spades. So let's see what will be of most interest to her. Ace of spades is a crude puppet, temporarily controls another person's actions. Don't think that would work well for her. 10 of clubs, red sand hourglass, rewinds the time based on the amount of sand. And then 6 of clubs, stone ring, grants invisibility for a short period of time. I don't love those, but let's kind of work with it. So she's an artist. So we can make this whatever we want. This is where the role playing comes in. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I think I have an idea. But let's go back to the ace again. Another person's actions. You know what? I'm going to try to tempt her with the 10 of clubs, the red sand hourglass. So let's go over here. Red sand hourglass. And that will rewind time based upon the amount of sand. So let me pause for a moment. And what I'm going to try to do is think about what curse will I put on this to both encourage her and have it act as intended, but have some nefarious effect. So I will think about this for a minute. All right, so I am going to move. Let me make sure I have the right card here. I'm going to show you the item again. Make sure I have it right. Clubs. 10 of clubs. So what I need to do is put away the others. So what I'm going to do is move down this item deck. One card goes to the bottom. I'm going to do this randomly. I'm just going to say the first card goes to the bottom. The other card goes to the top. Maybe I can consider that and be more prescriptive of that in the future. But I'm going to use this 10 of clubs, which rewinds time. So as she's looking through the curiosity shop, I show her the hourglass and say, you know, you want to be a famous artist, but I'm sure that sometimes your art and your paintings don't go quite as intended. Brushstroke might be wrong, and you might have to start over. This hourglass will allow you to rewind time and make sure that you can continue to go back and create the best painting that you could ever imagine. Now, what she doesn't know is I'm going to use the curse type 2, which is cost. And every time she uses it, it's going to age her just a bit. So early on, it's not going to be that significant. It won't be a big deal. She won't notice it. But over time, after she's used this a lot and really gotten used to how much it helps her, she's going to realize that it is aging her. But at that point, I would think it's going to be too late. So let's look at the 3 rules I need to make sure I do. So I'm adhering to the promise. It's going to deliver exactly what I told her. Concealed consequences, it's very subtle. She won't notice it. And that as she uses this more and more, she's going to get so tied into it that I don't be able to resist. So I think I've satisfied those. So now that I've done that, I am going to be using this curse type 2 cost. So I need to roll 3 dice and see if she is suspicious. So I need to get a 5 or a 6 on any of these dice. Oh, God. Okay. So I failed. So let me go back and look at this. And I want to read if there's anything specific about failure. My understanding is I don't need to move the curse cost up until I am actually successful. So let's roll this again. So I check for suspicion. And I didn't get a 5 or 6, so I did not succeed. I did not gain points. So the sale fails and suspicion increases, causing you to lose potential customers. So what happens now? This says they're good at recognizing patterns. Using the same curse repeatedly will increase the chance of arousing suspicion. So I think that makes sense. You wouldn't have to move this up because she never used the item, so there wouldn't be any issue there. But she can tell that I'm just a little too anxious. This is my first sale of the day. So I will lose 4 additional cards from the customer deck, and I don't gain any. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on sale fails, and 4 cards from the customer deck will go to my discard deck. And if I ever run out of cards, I'm done. So I will, I'll do that. And then I'm going to say new customer, and it will clear everything up top here. All right. So I'm already down 5 customers. Wow. So let's try this one. A 7 of diamonds. See who this is. Herman Camerarius. Didn't know I was going to have some pronunciation challenges here. So we'll do this. And I actually probably I can probably get rid of, maybe I will over time. So I'm just going to say for now, F for failure. Fail. I don't know why my keyboard is not working as well as it should. All right, so then let's look at item options here. And there's my ace of spades. Yeah, I might move that to the bottom next time. Ace, queen, and 8 of spades. Let's look at this. I should know what that ace is already. Oh, let's look at what 7 of diamonds is. So he desires forbidden knowledge, a scholar of the occult, maintains a private library of rare and banned books. If it were discovered, he would be publicly burned. All right. So I want something that is about knowledge or books. So let's look at the ace of spades again. Crude puppet. I don't really love that one. I think I'm going to discard that next time. To the bottom. Jar of spices makes anything delicious and irresistible. Don't love that. Tamed raven. The bird speaks with wisdom and guidance. That might be interesting. I would have loved to get the 7 of spades. Alchemical book, maybe. Or some, but let's go with the 8 of spades. I can work with that. Speaks with wisdom and guidance. So I'm going to get rid of the ace. So let's do this. I'm going to put the ace on the bottom. I don't love that one. and it'll probably be something I want later, but speaks with wisdom and guidance. I'm going to try not to go up to pause this now. Maybe I can start thinking about this in real time. So let's look at the curse types again. So degree, cost, or pedantic. And pedantic is going to be, there's some loophole, um, something else happens with it. But I guess I can use any of these now. So the Raven speaks. So he wants wisdom and knowledge. Hmm. And I know I'm going to probably not be super creative, but I'll learn over time. So maybe in this case, I'm going to do cost again because it's just a little bit easier for me to think about that. So I'm going to say this Raven will be able to answer questions for him. He can find the knowledge he wants, the books he wants. He'll find the locations, but hmm, yeah, I think what I'm going to say, but by doing that, he forgets something. So it is pretty similar to the last curse I did. I'll try to get more creative, but I'm going to say that he gains this knowledge, but he forgets something, and early on it's going to be something really small, so it doesn't really impact him. But over time, he's going to forget virtually anything except these esoteric knowledge and books that he finds. So we'll try that. So all right. So I'm still on the first track. I haven't succeeded yet. So we're doing curse type 2. Roll 3 dice. And I got a 6. So it succeeds. So let's go back. And I want to mark here that we're going to say it's excuse me, allergies are bugging me today. A raven. It was an 8 of spades, a tamed raven. Tamed raven. And then I'm going to say type 2. I don't know why that keyboard, something's going on, isn't working. So cost each time he asks the raven questions, he forgets something until he is left with only esoteric knowledge. All right. So we got that, and now what we do, oh God, I totally forgot about this part of the game. So I get the vexation points. So one, I get a success, so I can move this orange tile here, and I need 12 of these. So I only get 3 days to do this in. So on average, I need to get 4 successes a day. So obviously I can do maybe one more less one day and then one more the next day. But I'm still on day 1. So I have 1 success, but I only get the absolute difference. It doesn't matter which card is higher, but the difference between these is the vexation point I get. So I only get 1 vexation point. And again, I need 30, so I need 10. So I probably should have taken a different card, but I'm learning this is the first time I played this. So, but I do need to move this up now since that curse was successful. For this day, I only now can roll 2d6 if I use that same curse type. So it gets progressively harder to keep using the same one. All right, so let us go to a new customer. So this should work. Yep, so my new customer is a 9 of diamonds. See, I'm going to leave this up so you can see it. Hopefully it's not too distracting. 9 of diamonds. Oh. Go back up. 9 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds. Adelind Weir. I remember Adelind from Grimm. I used to love that show. My series, my daughter liked it too. Adelind Weir. Okay. What else did it say about Adelind? Desires to be the greatest poet in the world. A gifted poet, but not one gifted with superior skill. Her poems are appreciated, but never celebrated. So she's an average poet, but she's not really gaining the success that she'd like. Okay. Look at our items. So in theory, I'd love to get the face cards are worth 1. So I'd love to use one of those face cards because that would give me an 8 if I'm successful. So let's start with the Queen of Spades and the Jack of Clubs. So Queen of Spades. Jar of spices makes anything delicious and irresistible. Don't love that. Jack of clubs. Wooden flute lulls all who hear it to sleep. And what about a five of spades? Silver mirror shows the true nature of those reflected. Hmm. It's a tough one. I might have to think a little bit outside the box because none of them, I'm going to try to play this a little more towards, hey, what do I think is the best approach without completely thinking about the value of the cards. But in this case, none of them are great. So I think I am going to try to, let's see, lulls all of them who hear it to sleep. What's the Queen of Spades again? Anything delicious and irresistible. This is a really tough one. Nature. You know what? I'm going to do the five of spades, and I'm going to think about this one a bit. But the silver mirror. So let's go to here and say silver mirror. And it's obviously at the end of the day, it's just for fun, right? I can't really be wrong. Even though folks may not agree with how I play, at least, if I'm having fun, I'm having fun. So the true nature of those reflected. So I am going to pause this one, really think about this curse before before I move forward. All right, so I came up with a curse. So for this mirror, this beautiful antique silver mirror, I show it to Adeline and tell her that, I know your poems are adequate, but what would you think if you were able to look into this mirror and you would be able to reflect and show the true nature of an individual person so that your poems could be directed to such a meaningful degree that you could make poems for royalty that would be so meaningful to them that they couldn't help but elevate your status in the community. But what will happen each time she uses that, it'll have the cursed degree, which means each time she uses it, she is going to slowly take on the 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 nature of the person reflected, such that over time she will lose who she is and ultimately, be this amalgamation of all of these people who she's created these poems for. So I think that works. And that is five of spades, I believe. So let's do this. I'm going to move Queen of Spades down here. I'm not giving a lot of thought to this. Move that back. And we'll see if, so this is curse type 1 degree. Is that degree? Now I'm confusing myself. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's similar to the mask example here, that the mask allows the user to assume the identity of another person, but the effect is so strong that eventually makes the user forget their original. I think that's close, fair. So let's do that. Let's roll. We get 3 dice for curse type 1. Oh my God, I failed. This is going to be really rough. I think I'm going to lose quickly, but let's go to sale fails. So now I'm down to 15 cards. I do not think this is going to end well. We're going to pick a new customer, and we've got a Queen of Diamonds. So let's start this again. All right, Queen of Diamonds. Ermengarde Copius. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I am, because it's my game, right? So I'm going to say up here, and I'll probably get rid of these because I think I'm realizing I'll need more space. I should probably create several of these in the future. So Ermengarde Obsopius wants to fall in true love, romantic to a fault. Relationships have always been difficult and end in sorrow. Wants to fall in true love. Okay, let's look at the cards. They're all so close, darn it. And Jack of clubs, 9 of clubs, King of clubs. Let's start with the 9 of clubs. That grotesque amulet extends physical youth and vitality of the wearer. Okay. That's a 9 of clubs. Jack of clubs. Wooden flute lulls Audihert to sleep. And then King of clubs, made of material that resists any weapon. Again, these aren't, maybe extends the vitality and youth of the wearer. I'm going to try that. Grotesque amulet extends the vitality and youth of the wearer, and explain to her that the way for her, I know this is a trope here, but she can fall in love by continuing to be, beautiful and young, and she will not age as much as others, and that will assist her in falling in love. So we'll try that. No, a 9 of clubs. So I am going to pause this one. I want to think about this one and come back. Okay. So I'm going to try to use curse type 3, pedantic. And this amulet will make her young and vital and continuing to remain beautiful, give her plenty of time to find her suitor. And it works just as I say it does. However, is the more she uses this and wears this to continue to stay young and vital, she will begin to get some rashes, and these rashes will start very small. You won't even notice them. It'll start maybe on her back where she doesn't see them, but over time, she will remain young and vital. But these rashes will give her such a splotchy appearance. She will look pretty bizarre to anyone who lays eyes on her. So that is going to be card. What card did we decide we would use again? That is number. We're at clubs. Clubs. Which clubs? Grotesque. I used the 9 of clubs. So I'm just going to, again, move this down. I'm going to put the Jack of clubs here, King of clubs on top. This back. We're using the 9 of clubs, using the pedantic curse. And so we do get to roll 3 dice. Let's see what happens. 6. Woo. All right. So we did get it. So this is a 1. And a difference between 1 and 9 is an 8. So I do get to move vitality points up 8. So I have a 9, which is great. I have 2 successes for the day. And now I have to move my pedantic curse tracker up 1. So if I use either the cost curse or the pedantic curse next on this day, then I will only have 2d6. So I might want to go to the curse type 1. So let me go back here. I think what I'm going to do, because I have realized that these failures I want to get rid of, because I won't, why is this? Yeah, these failures, I'm going to need them. In fact, I'll probably need more of them, but let's, so this was a grotesque amulet. I could spell grotesque. Grotesque. And we'll say type 3. Pedantic. Each. Geez, I can't spell today. With prolonged use, she will develop rashes over her body. And that was 8. And this will be gone. So I'll use one of the others, but those are my 2 successes so far. And again, I need, yeah, I'd really like to have, how many more? I need 2 more. No, I don't. Yeah, that's right. I need 2 more for the day. So, all right. So let's go to new customer. 8 of hearts. And I may only do another round or 2 just to show you how this, I think I've shown you how this works. And I'm having fun. It's an interesting game. I'll get better, I think, at just how I'm playing and thinking about the various curses. I can maybe get more creative. So 8 of hearts. Earhart, Schiedholz. Erhard Schiedholz. Let's go back up to the top here. Erhard Schiedholz yearns for a life of university prestige. Published one notable thesis at the University of Wittenberg, and nothing since. Fears falling into academic obscurity. Life of university privilege. So, okay. Let's see what items we get here. King of clubs. I know I should already know that, but let's look at this again. King of clubs, 10 of spades. Let's do the clubs first. Rewinds time based on, oh, no, 10 of spades. Okay. Sorry. King of clubs. Let's do queen and king of clubs. Pouch of gold coins doubles the amount of coins placed in the bag. That's interesting. King of clubs is the weapon. Yeah, that doesn't really help me here. So let's go back to 10 of spades. Golden harp creates soothing music even if unskilled. Shoot. The soothings I want. Ordered close. Yeah, the king I'm definitely going to discard. I don't see a way I can resist any weapon for the academic. But maybe the pouch of gold coins? Yeah, I'm going to use that and try to come up with something creative there. So pouch of gold coins. Pouch of gold coins. And I'll think about this curse. I'm going to try to do the degree. So bear with me. I'm going to pause for a second. All right. So I know this isn't going to be, from a gaming perspective, the quote right thing to do. I should try to come up with a degree curse. But the one that seemed interesting to me was a cost. So the curse that I'm going to use is this will double the number of coins put in, but it will increasingly become heavier and heavier. So every time it's used, the bag itself will become just a little bit heavier. So over time, it will become so hard they can't even move it. So they could try to put it in like a safe or leave it in one location so it doesn't move, but ultimately the bag will become so heavy it tears itself apart and rips and becomes useless. So we'll say that that is a cost curse, so I can only use 2 dice. So let's roll those dice and see if we get a success. Oh wow, 6 and a 5. So that was successful. And let me clean this. Well, actually, I don't need to clean this up. I do, because I want to remind myself. So that was a pouch of gold coins. So that's a queen of clubs. So we're going to get rid of the king of clubs, put that at the bottom of the deck. And we'll put the 10 back at the top. And the queen less than 8. So again, this functions as a 1, if I remember right. So that's 7. So it's a success. And 7 more would be 16. So actually, I'm doing pretty good there. I want to read that again, but I'm pretty sure the value, I want to make sure I'm doing that right. I think I am. So, check for suspicion. Yeah, so Jack, King, Queen, and Aces have a value of 1. So I did that right. So I'm doing pretty good. Ideally, I'd get 1 more success before I move on for the day. And yeah, I think I'm gonna stop it there, because you can see the function. So then at the end of the deal, either you succeed or you fail, and you either Mephistopheles will come back and he will either annihilate you if you didn't pass the test here, or I guess you'll live to fight another day. So I'll probably do another session, perhaps, if people like this, but I think you can see how it works. So to close this out, what we would do is, because I used cost, I now move this up to 1. And if all 3 of these tracks get up to 1, I have to close the shop for the day. But for now, I wouldn't. I'd go ahead and probably do 1 more day, but I'm going to call it here. It's been about 35 minutes. I think that's a good length of the video. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was a fun game for me. I really liked playing it, and I think I'll try to get more creative with my curses as we move forward. So I don't think I made any mistakes, but if I did, feel free to jump on and tell me. Till next time, happy gaming all.